Hi, so today I was looking at this NIP Academy team called Young Ninjas, and their roster was announced today. So I was a bit curious. I was like, when's their first game? And I looked, and it was 6 p.m. UK time, obviously. So I went to watch their game tonight, and I wasn't expecting a lot because it's their first official, obviously. I don't know how long these guys have been practicing together. Probably less than a month since when they were all released by their last teams, I think. Anyway, so it's led by this guy called ZTR or Eric, and if you're looking at his stats for this year, they seem really awful. But then that was just the middle of the year, and since November, December, if you look at last 6 months, they're significantly better. And so I was pretty curious to see what he had to put in place. So this is the game I want to look at. And I think I just want to look at mainly the T side where it was 9-2. They've had a massive comeback against Project X, to be honest, and I wasn't expecting it. I don't think the caster was either at the time. If we just look at the scores for Terrorist side, 18-5 for ZTR, and as I believe he's the in-game leader, I think it'll be pretty interesting to see what he can bring to the game as an in-game leader. And he's just so young, only 17, so hopefully it can be some nice talent. I just want to look at what allowed him to go in the short, like 26 rounds. He went 35-15, which is amazing, and is probably the main reason why that comeback happened. So I just want to hop into it, have a look, maybe look at why they got that going in the first place. So I'm just going to watch and see what kind of strats he brought, what kind of things they're going for, why it allowed them to go 9-2 in this half. They came back from like 8-3, I think it was, so it's pretty impressive to see that at all. So I go for the 4 lobby. I didn't actually go forward this half, I watched most of the first half, but I completely missed the comeback. Go for a fast lobby. Fast into A. So pretty simple stuff, not much util going into that. I don't think I didn't see much. Just some nice shots being hit by all 3 of them. Nilo, ZTR and Fuzi, I think it was pronounced. It's very simple that round at least. So yeah, it's a completely new team, and I was surprised because they only announced it today, so it's kind of difficult, I guess, for Project X to expect, because there's no data. I think most of them come from 2 or 3 different teams. It's not like they're going to be bringing through the same strats from the last teams. So they're crossing dry outside, and then they haven't seen anybody, so they decided to move in. Whereas ZTR is still holding lobby, so it's very passive hold from him. But they don't, since they haven't seen anybody, they'd have to assume that they're stacked on A. Maybe it's a rubber. But I think it's quite likely that they know Project X are going to force into this. Just being very careful. TR is still holding very passively. They've got a lot of control, and that's probably quite key to why they've done so well, at least up in this round. We're on to CT, and then they just push into A. TR, it's like lurking around like solo. But again, it's nothing too complex. They cross completely dry. But it's kind of set ZTR in his lurker position. Well, they go. So frags just finish up the round. I don't really know why I'm so excited to see Young Ninjas play today. saw them as like an underdog team, and they definitely were. I remember the caster saying that he thought it was going to be 2-0 for Project X. I was thinking, I was really hoping it wouldn't be, because I can see something like you can see. No, I can't, okay. So now they know it's full eco. I want to see how they approach this. Because a lot of younger teams would be less. These guys are very inexperienced. Let's see how they approach when they know they can play. So taking lobby control. And I'm going to try and keep the young NIP players. Good flashback from them. Necessary team kill. Kind of. Again, they're going outside without any smokes. Which I guess is more. Just to spot the player, but I guess it's a full eco. Well, they should know that. So they can be relatively carefree. Good minus from Dipio. Again, they're just gone into A. No, they've still got loads of utils. They haven't actually had a big set play coming. This is giving him an opportunity for 8-0. He'll do it anyway. And then they're coming into the first buy round, so let's see what they do. Outside smokes, I'm not sure which set they are. They're the L smokes, garage. Is that garage smoke missed a little bit? Yeah, maybe they need to. Maybe that's intentional to lurk through, or anyway, it doesn't look great. Looks like that could be used by an AWP or something. Spot the AWP in heaven. It looks like they're about to ace it. With ZTR lurking in again. Nice entries there from Sapek. It's very dry, all of the things they're doing, very many contact plays. And that's kind of exactly what destroys a contact play. An AWP sat there. But now that ZTR knows that there's an AWP in play, see how he wants to change to respond to that. They've got the entries into A, which look like they've kind of been fed to them by Project X. They have the site.
Terrorists win. Bomb has been planted.
Somebody's like probably taking the lead for the first time. They know it's going to be another half buy from Project X. So you'll probably play quite slow. Let it come to that. Pretty heavy inside probably. Should really be holding for any pushes now. Especially around us. So we'll see what ZTR is doing on them. Yeah, playing nice and passive. Good protocol to have. especially for such a new team, when they know they're going to be against a weaker Vi. That's that's unlucky. Nice shot from Sensei. But again, that was quite dry outside when they know maybe they should be using smokes a bit more. And they have now dropped their smokes, haven't they? Yeah, they're just the basic outdoor cross smokes. This is clearly how ZTR likes to approach this. He doesn't like too many flashbangs, too much noise. He likes it quiet, without a lot of util. So you can look on the left-hand side of the screen. There's still loads of util. Signals. There comes the lobby push, and it really shouldn't be in a 3v3 when it's just Eagles. Coming out of sight. So A seems to be a lot of a favourite. Easy to contact onto when they've got some picks. ZTR is really not playing a star player role. He's just going outside, maybe getting 1 or 2 kills each time. He's staying alive. It's really good to help his team. Okay. Instead of say 8, clutch this. Not an ace, sorry. Good clean up from ZTR. I don't really know how the other two were lined up so perfectly, but yeah. So it's a good time for them to call in a tactical. Just get through this. Come on. Right, let's go. So clearly this dry, not really one of the picks somehow. I mean they've only really had two rounds. This is the third one here. Be very careful around the sideline. It's good to see. Just this very heavy outside, and it was one of the fixes that Project X tried to bring in, pushing outside in some of the rounds that I did see. But young ninjas were pretty prepared for it, really. They had good protocols, knowing what to do. Now they're going back to throw smokes. That's what Nuke's about a lot these days, just throwing the smokes, whether you cross with them or not. It's really good for pushing at least one of the defense downstairs, because they have to go check it. Throw them every round. You don't really have a choice, especially if you use them quite often. But Psycho's side. It's a good trade there. And this is a nice shot, very good impact from ZTR. It's very cleverly played, making sure he makes no sound. This seems to be his playstyle, playing quiet and very careful to check this. And then he's left it into the 1v1. In it for the ace clutch. Can he do it? A little tickle to himself. This is play straight out into the tunnels. I just quickly need to turn the music off, just so I don't get copyright striked. Where is it? That one. let's go. Yeah, so I'm really trying to stay on the NOP perspectives, the young. So they're throwing the smokes early this time, much earlier. Big patience. They're going down the vent, the door even trying to get out. They haven't taken that. As it's they've done pretty well at dealing with the aggression. These elf smokes spread a bit better this time. Haven't done anything with it though, no lurks outside this time. But because of their presence before, they forced. Where are the players? They got 2 outside now. When at the start of the game, they were playing none outside. Because of them not throwing Utah before, it's a nice shot. Because they haven't thrown Utah before, the Project X team know they have to be careful, even if there's no indicators like smokes. They have to, even though that was that round, they have to still be very careful that there's no lurks going through it silently. It was quite a slow, methodical. Just trying to get picks really for this young Rangers team. When they do, they will just go into A. That seems to be the play. Not much presence. We're on a 13-9 scoreline already. Hasn't seemed very competitive. They've done the same kind of things as most rounds. Normally going outside, sometimes just throwing the smoke, sometimes not even throwing the smoke. It's unlucky for ZTI. It gets caught, it doesn't quite jump around the corner properly. If you jump around the corner, then they can't see you at all. It's very difficult to hit. I guess that all comes in time, really. You can't expect it to be perfect. This wasn't even their pick. Their pick was Vertigo, which was the next map in the series, which was pretty close. The next 2 maps went to overtime, but as you saw before, they lost out the series. They both know they have very little HP, and Psycho should be winning that, really. But they make such a good play to boost over the top, and Sapik just hits the shot. It's pretty. It's probably the only thing that could have saved that round, because they were both on site, both 1 bullet each. Very, very unlucky for Sapik. Well, no, for Psycho, that's what they decided to do, because I think that's probably one of the only ways they could have won that round. Very quick thinking from whoever drew that. As you can see, ZTR's already 29-13. And there's what, 3 more rounds left in this game? Yeah, 3 more rounds. So this is more of a looking at the team strats. And I might do somewhere I look at the strats from the other team perspective, seeing what they see. I just kind of wanted to start doing these kind of tactical videos, especially as the player break ends. We start to see some good CS back on. I want to look at these players. This was a really interesting game for me. See how this completely new team worked in their first game. So again, they're going outside. It's a clever boost. It's reasonably common now, but anything to try and get a slight advantage. So try and get the pick, which is what they're trying to do, to try and trade out that lost man player. So again, he's lurking outside. It's the TR trying to catch somebody off guard. Swedish delight. caught by the double AWP setup there, but now that ZTR knows, see what his adjustment is. Onto A, bit messy, but doesn't clear the corner. Leaves Nilo in a 1v4. But at this point, it's 14-9. It ended 8-7. The first half ended 8-7 to Project X. So to come back this far is... He dies 4 times, doesn't really matter. Would have been much worse if it was after time. I wouldn't been able to get a buy in this round. Here they are. So for the first map that they've played together as official for the team, it's pretty good to see how well they seem to have worked. Again, they go back to the same default outside smoke. It looks like they might cross behind them this time. But if you look, they haven't gone B except for that one round where ZTL was trying to ace clutch, where he went down secret to try and win the one-on-one. It's always been A finishes, I think. Now they're finally on the when they're up 14-10, finally crossed secret. So hopefully they're gambling that Project X won't be expecting this, maybe, or won't be ready. But they are ready. The smoke is very telling sign. But they're still going forward. But because of all the ZTR lurks and stuff, they're now very cautious outside. And I mean, for good reason, really. He spotted Sapek outside. But in the meantime, and so the rotations are still quite far away. We've got, I think this is around my man in the left. Yeah. Toxic is so ready for it. You know, in the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because he's delayed them so much by having to hunt for him that by the time they get to site, it's hard to get. And this, I think this is a big, more of a problem for Project X. Nice 3 days and get up. Their retakes were too slow. So whenever they got there, I think we're about to see another one of them. Yeah, by the time they got to the site, it's way too low. So I heard them on site and they're trying to go quick at A, but it's already very pushed up into heart, but it doesn't work out for them. They move and Boozy gets the trade around. Full control of ramp now. That's very good control on this map because it cuts off the rotations a lot. So if they end up B, they have to rotate through vent, which is a very difficult rotation point, or through secret, which is quite a long distance. It's very good to control ramp, and it gives you access to heaven or back to it. So now they're just going, the remaining 3 of them, 3v4, descending together. Leaving Manon to lurk by the looks of it. Maybe he's going to join them. No, he's got to come really in a 3v4. It's just simply start to smoke. Clearing stuff. Not a lot of util, but when they need to, they're throwing stuff. This is great, like for you. Excellent, really. The only B defender. The others are so far away. This is the second time we've gone B this half, if we exclude the clutch attempt from ZTR, which is one of the 2 rounds that Project X won. So it was a really dominant half for Young Ninjas. And we're about to end up 35-15. ZTR left in a 2v2, but it doesn't matter. Round's won. Game's won. Ninjas winning their first official. So there we go. Move back to page. Load, please. Oh, are we good? Are we frozen? I bet this isn't frozen. Come on. Come on. There we go. Right, okay. So, just looking at this, and they did go on to lose the series. But I think it's a really promising start. And look how close it was, 1915, 1917 against a Project X that's been together for quite a long time now, I think. So yeah, ZTR on Nuke, 35-15, Vertigo, 28-23, Inferno, it's a bit further down, 25-23, but he's gone positive in all 3 maps. And he's the IGL as well, so that's quite unusual. So yeah, it's pretty good to see this, and I really hope this is a good start for the Ninjas Academy team. A lot of academies making their way out at the moment. Astralis Talent, I think. Navi Junior's been around for ages, but who are the other ones? There's an Endpoint ROG Academy coming soon. So many new rosters and everything. It's really exciting to see, and to see how it's going to change the scenes and the grassroots scenes in all these countries. Hopefully make CS more accessible for pro route for all these people. Anyway, that's all I've got for today, and I hope I can do more of these. There's a TL in that. Yeah. I hope I can do more of these in the future. Yeah, hopefully build up a fan base for doing some analysis content, seeing these teams. It's probably going to be tier 1 teams, but I just wanted to start. I wanted to test everything out, make sure everything worked. Yeah. So thank you for watching. Have a good night.